It's that time. It's that time of the year. Part 2, Season 4 of Emily in Paris is here. I'm confused. Is Emily good now? Is she becoming my favorite character of the series? Am I rooting for her? Maybe her endless, joyful disposition is seeping its way into my cold, dead heart, making me feel warm, fuzzy, positive feelings that I haven't felt since my mother's warm embrace back when I was 2. No, that can't be right. When I was 3. Whatever's happening, I am officially a fan. I am converted into the Emily in Paris religion. I've covered part 1 of season 4 on one of my latest videos. I'll leave the link here or here, whichever side. But Emily in Paris is back. And last time we saw her, she was with Gabriel. Gabriel was celebrating a beautiful night at his restaurant. He didn't get the Michelin star, but he has a beautiful girlfriend. He has an ex-girlfriend pregnant with his baby. He's happy. Emily's happy. Camille's hiding a secret. It was a false pregnancy. She's not pregnant. There's no baby. There's no baby, and I thought, okay, as soon as she reveals the truth, we're not going to have a continuation of the series, right? A happy ending for everyone. Camille goes her own way. Gabrielle and Emily, oh my god, now I'm calling him Gabrielle. Gabriel and Emily live happily ever after. No baby to cause concern, because we all know that couples don't stay together when there's kids ruining the fun, right? And by the end of the season, I think it is the end of an era. I think Emily in Paris will cease to exist. But Emily will come back, just in a different format. This time she's gonna terrorize Italians in Rome. She's finally gotten out of Paris, okay? It's a victory. But it's a victory that we need to savor slowly, because it's still a pretty terrible show. But it's making progress to not being as terrible. Now it's just bad. But it's bad in an enjoyable way still. We got a new cast member, a new character, Genevieve. She's played by Talia Besson. If you don't know that last name, she's the daughter of Luc Besson. So she's a Nepo baby. And she was brought to this series as a punishment for Emily, showing her what everyone else had to endure when she came to Paris, which is an annoying American that doesn't know tradition or culture or anything other than Starbucks, because that's her favorite type of coffee. Her words, not mine. So, if you're curious to know what happens in Emily in Paris, but you don't want to put yourself through watching 5 episodes that are mostly fluff and fashion and surprisingly not appetizing food, then stick around. I watch it so you don't have to, and I bring you my honest, earnest opinions. Also, if you're new here, hi, I'm Eric. I have a stutter, and I should probably stop mentioning that, because this whole YouTube thing started as me having a stutter and talking about movies without stuttering, and then I realized that I don't actually stutter that much when I'm by myself, and now people think that I'm lying about it, which I'm not. You should see me at job interviews. Stutter is there in full force. But no, when I'm on my own, for some reason, it just flows out of me. Also, I think my dog's puking, so that's fun. That's what I got to do after filming this. But yeah, let's get into Emily in Paris, or Emily on her way to Rome. And as always, if you like this type of content, subscribe to my channel and like the video and leave a comment down below and share with your friends. And you know what? Call me slurs down in the comment section. Call me, but blur the slurs so it doesn't tell the algorithm that this is a hate channel. Just F slur. You F slur. You stupid B slur. That kind of stuff. Cool. Okay. So look, right? The lenses are really dirty. I don't really need glasses. These are like for blue lights, blue ray, whatever, to help with headaches, because I sit on my laptop most of the day. But let's get into Emily in Paris. Okay, I'm going to take these off. Right. Emily in Paris picks up. It's Christmas. There you go. It's most wonderful time of the year. It's way too soon for this, but it's Christmas. Emily is on her way to Chicago to spend Christmas with her family and to give the French a rest. Meanwhile, Gabriel is spending Christmas with Camille because she's having his baby, which does not exist, but she hasn't told him yet, so Camille's still pregnant. And Mindy is throwing an orphans party, which honestly sounds like the best type of party for Christmas, where you just gather with friends and drink alcohol and do drugs and play games, silly little games with silly little prizes. Unfortunately, due to weather conditions, Emily's flight is canceled. Oh no. But it's good because it gives Emily an opportunity to be invited forcefully by Camille's dad to spend Christmas with them at this beautiful little cottage in the mountains. It's very scenic. There's snowing and it smells like money. It looks like where I grew up, which was in Zermatt in Switzerland. Google it if you haven't heard of it. It's very nice, but it's very, very pricey. Pricey. It's not as pricey when you live there because then you're just there. But yeah, they are in a little cottage in France, and Emily shows up, and she's got her ugly Christmas sweater, which she claims is a Cooper tradition from Chicago. And I just like to point out that it's probably not. Like, most offices in the United Kingdom do an ugly Christmas sweater day where you bring your ugliest Christmas sweater to take pictures, because what's funnier than ironically wearing ugly Christmas sweaters? Hers lights up. That's seizures. Gave me a seizure. Really ugly. And it gave us a chance to see all these French people look at her with despicable expressions. For once, they are justified. And there's some tension because obviously Gabriel is now choosing Camille over Emily because she's carrying his child, the child that does not exist, that he doesn't know yet. So they go skiing the next day, and Gabriel insists with Emily. He's like, no, you come with me and I'll take care of you. I won't let you fall down the mountain. And Camille, for some reason, wants him back. I thought we had moved past the French man, whose hair, by the way, is getting out of control. But in a bid to steal Gabriel's attention, Camille rushes down the mountain on her skis, and he chases after her, leaving Emily completely defenseless up in the mountain. And we get a quick little sequence of her falling comically on her ass a few times. Ridiculously, no one falls like that. She'd probably fall on her face and burn her face on the snow and maybe break something, but this... Mama, this is garbage. But of course, this is Emily. She's like the luckiest girl in the world, because who comes to her aid? None other than a hot Italian man called Marcello. Ooh, Marcello. Ooh, Emily, you are such a beautiful woman. Who would leave you alone in the mountain up here? I am going to take you down. And then he takes her down in the worst possible way. If you've ever learned how to ski, this is not how you help someone go down a mountain. You don't just hold them next to you, because the skis will just get tangled and then you'll both fall and you'll both die. So many people die in skiing accidents when they go off-piste and try and do tricks like they're Schumachers. Schumacher ended up in the hospital. Don't do that. But he helps her down the mountain, and she has an outburst at Gabriel. Emily tells him off. She's like, you're always going to choose Camille. And it's fine. You should, because she's carrying your child. But I can't keep being your mistress. I deserve more. And I was very proud of Emily. Very proud, because this is like the first time that she actually stands up for herself and is like, no, actually, I deserve more than a mediocre French chef who can't stay away from his blonde ex-girlfriend, whose boyfriend I slept with while she was with him, and whose underage brother I slept with when I was visiting her family. Emily's living a very eventful life, but not in this season. In this season, she's actually keeping it very casual, very mature, very adult. She breaks it off and leaves without saying goodbye to anyone. Like I said, very mature. But finally, Camille reveals to Gabriel that she had a false pregnancy. And instead of going back to Paris and telling Emily, like, hey, by the way, the reason why you broke up with me isn't a reason anymore. Let's be together because we love each other. No. They go to a priest because they want to adopt a child. A pregnancy that a few weeks ago was going to ruin both their lives is now turning into an adoption. I say good for adopters. Adoption is good because obviously you take kids out of the foster system and give them a happy life. In this case, it's bad because they're not together. Luckily, Gabriel reaches the same conclusion. And he's like, actually, Camille, I think we deserve to start a family with someone we're actually in love with. And I have to agree with the French chef. He doesn't just make mean cupcakes, he also makes a mean argument for reason. Yeah. Meanwhile, Sylvie's husband, remember the hot husband who opened a yacht club in the middle of Paris? Well, he's got an illegitimate daughter with a woman that he hooked up with like 20 years ago. Her name is Genevieve. She's from New York, and she's moving to Paris because she wants to work in fashion, and her father is rich and lives in Paris. Sylvie, not happy about it because this is the illegitimate daughter of her husband with whom she has an open relationship. Therefore, they don't really show much affection towards each other. They're always just going off on trips and ignoring each other. It's a weird marriage. Not the open part, just the amount of time they spend apart hating each other is stupid. And Sylvie tries to help Genevieve get a job as a personal assistant to a fashion icon, tycoon, whoever. But turns out nepotism isn't great in France. She's unsuccessful, and to redeem herself, offer Genevieve a job at Agence Gratteau. Everyone in this series is lucky. Genevieve moves from New York to Paris, gets a job straight away in a PR agency. Why can't my life be an Emily in Paris show? Why can't it be Eric in London? I would also like to go to events that I don't belong to. I would also like to get made over by people with a lot of taste and money. I would like to be gifted things that I could never afford in my life. For once, I would like to have a hot chef and a hot finance bro fighting for my attention, just so I could choose neither of them in the end because I end up with a hot Italian that is also rich. Alas, that's not the case. She starts working for Sylvie, who quickly dumps her on Emily. And yeah, this feels like the universe's way of punishing Emily for all of the annoyance and pain and hurt she's brought to all of France by dumping an annoying American that actually speaks French on her lap. And if you're American and you're watching this and you're wondering, hey, why does the entire world hate Americans? Well, this might be a small but good start. Genevieve shadows Emily for a week to learn on the job. We're never specified what she's going to do. She's there to get coffees and prepare meeting rooms, and then she's just there. And listen, I like Sylvie, but this half of the season, she's become a real grade A. Like, oof, she is mean for no reason now. Like, initially, yeah, sure, be mean to Emily because she's really fucking annoying. But now she's just being gratuitously bitchy. Who's asking for this? See, they're ruining every other character except Emily. So Emily is becoming better, or maybe Emily's staying the same, but because everyone else is getting worse by comparison, we feel like Emily's improving when actually she's not. Either way, Sylvie gives Genevieve a makeover because she dresses too much like an American, and I, for once, agree. She makes her a fashion-forward, well-dressed, influencer-ready fashionista, assistant marketing, PR, girly. Did that make sense? It made sense in my head. But if you see her, like, this makes sense, right? Look at her. It's uncanny. Blah. Now, Mindy, the icon that she is, becomes a prude in this season. And I think the writers are cowards. They write Mindy as this super sex positive, empowering female character in this series that's ready to be a boss bitch, take no prisoners. She's there to do it all. She doesn't care. And then to pay for her Eurovision performance, which somehow finds its way back into the main story after being dropped after 2 scenes in the first half, she accepts a job as a singer at the Crazy Horse. Crazy Horse is like a burlesque club, so women show their tatas, and Mindy has no problem with it because, you know, it is money after all, and she's a performer. She's there to give a show no matter how much she's got on. Until it's actually time to sing, and turns out she can't sing while topless. And it felt disappointing. It felt like a bit of a disservice to the character that now all of a sudden she's a prude. She needs to cover her boobs to sing. Otherwise, she can't be in pitch. I don't know. Sounds like Emily in Paris didn't have the money to pay her to be topless in this series. But all is not lost because this is a series after all. And she finds a way to perform topless without actually being topless, and somehow everyone's okay with it. You know, she's grabbing objects and accessories to cover her breasts just so she can sing when everyone else around her is showing their breasts. And I think it's cool that everyone else had to, but Mindy didn't have to because she's the star. And as we know, stars don't do nude scenes because nudity is inherently sexual and cheap. And if you do that as an actor or as a character, you kind of lose value. You know, you kind of go like, you're not deserving of having love anymore, or a family, or a home, a loving home. You're just blacklisted from love in general. That's why I think, yeah. So anyway, back to work, and a channel wants to do a segment on Gabriel's restaurant. Emily is super excited and tells Gabriel, who's busy, not adopting a child in church. But eventually they do the shoot, they do the little segment, and there's a lot of tension, okay? Emily is there with Genevieve, because Genevieve is shadowing her. At this moment, I realize that we see so very little of Emily and Gabriel together. We've seen so very little of them ever since they broke up the first and the second and the third and the fourth time. It's becoming sort of repetitive that they're together for half an episode, then they break up for an entire season, that we're getting to the point that, are we really rooting for them too? Because genuinely, I didn't miss Gabriel's presence on my screen when he was gone for two of the episodes in this half of the season. I didn't miss their interactions because they have the same chemistry that I have with a bowl of cereal. I'll eat it, but it's not my first choice. But there's an interesting conversation they have. Emily's like trying to get Gabriel to open up like what is going on, because at this point Emily knows that there is no baby. The baby's gone. It was never a thing in the first place. And Emily's like, yo, we don't communicate. Like, I've been trying to communicate with you, but you're not. And Gabriel's like, you know what? You little American puta, and gives her a whole speech in French that obviously she doesn't understand, because our little friend Emily has been in France for about 4 years and still doesn't speak French, which makes no sense. I know people that were really bad at languages, and when I say really bad, I mean like really bad at languages. Just to put it into perspective, English is, in my opinion, a very easy language to learn, because A, we have a lot of material to look up the language and to hear the language and to read it, a lot of series, a lot of movies, a lot of books. There's a lot of content out there that you can learn English. But second of all, grammatically speaking, syntax, all of that shit, English is pretty simple. It is very, very simple. And take it from someone that speaks a few other languages, English is quite easy to learn. And I went to school with people that really struggle to speak basic English. And when they move to, say, Switzerland or Germany or France or wherever else, within a year, and they're speaking fluently. And you know why? Because the country doesn't actually pander to their English 24/7. This whole phenomenon of moving to Europe and speaking English 24/7, not having to learn the country's language, is a recent phenomenon of the digital nomads, the little funny guys who like to travel around and live abroad with their jobs back home, where they don't actually have to learn a different language, but they get to enjoy the salary of their home countries whilst living in those new countries that are significantly cheaper. And because, again, we all have TV, we all watch Netflix, no matter where we are, we're gonna have an understanding of English. What we're not gonna do is have every single person she meets speak perfect English. But generally speaking, if you move to a country to genuinely live there, you learn the language. And Emily, Lily Collins, I don't know who refuses to learn French. I don't know if it's the actress. I don't know if the series just wants her to stay in this dumb state forever. But 4 years. Come on. So Gabriel expresses his frustrations that they're constantly having to speak in her language, and he can't even express himself in his language, and that's why their relationship doesn't work. And I call bullshit. First of all, I'm the first one to side with anyone arguing with Emily because she's really annoying. But in this case, it's not her fault. It's not her fault that she met a hot French chef who speaks perfect English and just openly speaks English no matter what. It's not Emily's fault that everyone keeps pandering to her English. You want Emily to learn French? Refuse to speak to her in English. You want Emily to learn French? Tell Sylvie to only speak French to her. If everyone just refused to speak English to this little she would learn French. Alas, they don't, so she's not going to. So I don't even blame her. But also, I've been in a relationship for 8 years. I'm not English, and I've spoken in English the entirety of my relationship. Never had to communicate in Portuguese to make myself understood. Never had him have to learn Portuguese for me to understand him. Would it be nice? Yeah, sure. It's nice in a quirky way. Like, yeah, we can go back to my home country and I don't have to constantly translate everything back and forth. But it's not really a deal breaker. I think this is just asinine of the show. I think the show is just trying to find new and fresh ways to punish Emily and to really highlight the fact that she doesn't speak French, all while not forcing her to learn French. Like, you're constantly shitting on Emily, But no one's helping this woman. No one is forcing her to have to learn French. So he has a little outburst and blames her for the lack of communication in their relationship and storms off. And Genevieve is like, oh, I'm so sorry. And Emily's like, I didn't even understand what he said. And Genevieve's like, I'll translate. He said that your communication is bad, but it's not his fault. Also, he doesn't want to see you anymore. Genevieve, the little puta, adds that little he doesn't want to see you anymore at the end of the sentence, which Gabriel didn't say. Genevieve is now becoming a villain in her own merit. A villain that does nothing villainous really other than this. It's very sad. She's now gunning for Emily's job and Emily's ex-boyfriend. Her scraps, basically. Emily leaves super sad and asks Genevieve to handle the rest of the interaction. Genevieve, who speaks French, who convinces Gabriel to stay there, all as part of a little conniving plan to stay back and flirt with him and have a couple drinks after work. And even though Emily sees her at night, she doesn't take the bait. She doesn't go crazy, jealous. She's just like, you know what? Gabriel is single. Genevieve is single. I'm just gonna stay out of it. And I am so proud of my little Emilia. Emilia in Paris. Oh, oui, oui. I also don't speak French, by the way. Mais je parle un petit peu. Je sais dire 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. J'ai beaucoup de la patience. Je suis un mec who habite à London. And that's all. But just as she's accepting that Gabriel is out, he's not an option anymore, guess who she reconnects with? Marcello, the Italian, the hot Italian that saved her at the mountain. And Emily's living everybody's dreams, okay? Emily's job is to gallivant around Paris and soon Rome, wearing cute little outfits and throwing around pitches and being adored at work, all while being wined and dined by hot men who somehow can't seem to resist her American charm. I've never seen so many Europeans just fall in line to chase after an American. It's a mystery. It's a medical mystery. And of course, he is part of a family that produces the most luxurious cashmere in Europe. So luxurious, you would have to be very rich and exclusive to know their name, because they don't believe in marketing. They don't believe in putting their name out there. It's like, if you can afford this type of cashmere, you'll find us. And I won't, because I can't afford cashmere. But if you can, they are Solitano, Italy, Italia, Marcello. What? And she spends a whole romantic day with him, which culminates in him showing up at a party, a work event that Emily has, because she's always got a work event to go to, and she always invites the random guy that she's seeing at the moment. And at the end of the date, he invites her to visit him in Rome. Come to Roma with me and meet my family and meet my country. I will be your guide and I will show you around. If there's any Italians watching this, I am so sorry. I'm not mocking you. I'm really trying to emulate the Italian accent. Also, Sylvie finds out that Emily is seeing Marcello Muratori. That's the name, Muratori. Sylvie asks Emily to get a meeting with Marcello and his family because they want to represent his family, the Muratoris. But the Muratoris are currently in a deal to sell out to JVMA. JVMA, if you don't remember, is from part 1. Remember that company that has the serial abuser at the helm, whose son, Nico, is dating Mindy? So Nico wants to close this deal with the Muratori so he can make a better case to be elected as CEO of the company. That's important. By the way, Camille reveals that she's moved out of her apartment, and she reveals to Emily that she actually rented an apartment with a nursery. So she's going to be able to do her art and also raise a child. She's decided to adopt. And I think it's beautiful. She's realized recently that what she was really excited for wasn't Gabriel in her life, it was the child that turned out to be a false pregnancy. So now there's going to be a child. But Camille says her goodbye. She actually shares some cute moments with Emily. They give each other very sound advice of like, I know that you had a plan for your life. I know that you were expecting to end up with this French chef and get married and have children and raise them in a cute little apartment in Paris. But when plans don't work out like you thought they were, you learn that planning that much ahead is not productive, not conducive to happiness. So you just learn to make the next best step. And that's what Camille is doing. And the next best step is to rent an entire studio apartment to do her art and raise a child that she's going to adopt. And we should support her because we're tired of this side plot that nobody cares anymore. Camille's out of the picture. Good for you. Go get that happy ending. And this, of course, inspires Emily to travel to Rome. I don't know why she was so hesitant to go to Rome. Like, it's really close from Paris to Rome. It's like an hour flight, not even. But because she's so allergic to leaving Paris, whenever she does, it has to be like the event of the century. When it's not. It's literally just a quick flight. So Emily decides she's going to Rome. But first, she has to get some holidays. And again, this was written by an American because she barges into the office and she's like, Sylvie, can I take a day holiday this week? And she's like, yeah, take a few. Bye, go. There's paperwork. Okay, you have to put in a request for a holiday. You have to give notice to make sure that your accounts are covered. You have to hand over your work so it gets picked up in your absence. But somehow all of Emily's work is done on the go, on her phone. All she ever does is sit in meetings and give her opinions and be praised for being mediocre, and that's it. Emily is living the best life. Also, she has to lie to Sylvie because at this point, Sylvie is insisting that Emily gets a meeting with Marcello. And she's like, oh, you're going away for the weekend. Are you going to Rome? Emily's like, no, I'm going to Krakow. Work. In Rome, Emily goes with Marcello to a house party, which is very bougie and very fancy. These people come from money. And Gabriel is invited to Genevieve's housewarming party, which is more my jam. Just a bunch of young adults smoking and doing drugs and drinking, playing beer pong. I'm sure a few of them are having sex in the bathroom. Others are doing cocaine up in the rooftop. That's my kind of party. And Genevieve kisses him. And he's like, oh, okay, sure. Yeah. But soon after, Genevieve's big mouth reveals that Emily is actually in Rome, and Sylvie loses it. She calls Emily straight away and is like, you need to get us a meeting with Marcello and his family. And it's very interesting because in this scene, we see Sylvie acting like an American. You know, she has to work 24/7, can't stop, won't stop, live to work. That's the motto. We're gonna die when we become unemployed. Whereas Emily is finally acting like an European and she's like, no, I'm off. Leave me alone. F*** off. And hangs up on her. And I just gotta say, again, when one character goes to the other one rises above. Emily's getting cooler and Sylvie needs to shut the up. All right, meanwhile, Mindy. Remember Mindy? She's got the Eurovision performance. So she's doing a photo shoot with her band, which includes her ex-boyfriend. And oh my God, all of a sudden it got so dark. Where's the sun? The sun is gone. Hello? God? Is that you? So Mindy's doing a promo shoot for Eurovision with the band, which includes her ex-boyfriend, and the photographer is very forceful. She's like, I've been doing this for way too long. You two need to tell a story. If you're telling a story of love, let's get you together and pretend like you're about to kiss. And it's all part of the team's plan to sell this story as a love story, because Eurovision, you gotta market yourself. You gotta market your song. Unfortunately, this image that Mindy and her bandmate are starstruck lovers is interfering with Nico's image as the potential future CEO of JVMA. So he invites Mindy to dinner and he's like, Mindy, I'm sorry, but you're a woman, so your rights don't matter. Your desires and interests are seconded by my desires and my wishes. I'm the man. I want to be CEO. And you should support me. I don't care that your lifelong dream has been to be a singer or to perform at Eurovision. I want to be CEO of this company. So you have to quit your silly little dream of performing at Eurovision and support me, your boyfriend. Which is exactly what Mindy's dad told her back when she was, back before Emily in Paris, her origin story. So obviously she's not happy with this and storms out of the restaurant, unofficially breaking up their relationship. And what does Nico do? Nico uses Mindy's song for Eurovision in an advert for JVMA, officially leaking the song to the public, which means Mindy has now been disqualified from Eurovision. All because this silly little man just couldn't not have his way, just couldn't be the alpha in the relationship. Men are trash. Men are trash, but Nico and his father are a right kind of trash that deserves to burn, baby, burn. Disco Inferno. So, of course, to deal with the emotional heartache of having her dream completely crushed by her psychotic boyfriend, Mindy goes to Rome to see Emily. But guess what's happening in Rome, guys? Remember when Sylvie called Emily to get a meeting with Marcello and Emily was like, actually, no bitch, you're not paying me, I'm off. Sylvie just shows up unannounced, hijacks their romantic getaway, shows up at the hotel and is like, hey Marcello, We gotta have a meeting. I'm Sylvie from Agence Cateau. Of course, that doesn't go down well with Marcello because now he thinks Emily was just there for opportunistic reasons. She was just there to get a meeting with his family, and he storms off, doesn't answer her calls or her voicemails. So Emily does what any sane human being would do in this situation. She tracks down his family because that's where he was taking her that day, and meets his mom, lies to the mom, says she's there to surprise him, and then he shows up and she's like, surprise. And you know what? I'm going to support Emily in this moment because I'm telling you, she is evolving. She's had so many opportunities to fall into that cliche American character that just goes off the rails on a jealous rampage because Genevieve is hitting on her ex-boyfriend, or because her ex-boyfriend didn't tell her that he wasn't expecting a baby anymore, because her best friend Camille sabotaged their relationship over Christmas because she was too afraid of being alone. No, Emily didn't take any of those baits. Emily didn't even want to get the meeting. So Emily, you track that man down and you tie him up and you tell him what's good. So they spend the day together and he shows her what his company is all about. It's all about family. It's all about love. It's all about nurturing the people that you care for rather than making your brand as big as possible or market yourself as the top of the game like a Gucci or a Prada or a Chanel would. His family is all about love and positive values. So much so that when the company was founded by his father or his grandfather, their main goal was to have a community of people that could trust each other and live happy. So everyone in this small town works for the factory and they all take care of each other. They have a daily lunch, apparently, where they all gather in the city center and just have food all together. I just want to know who cleans this every day. I also want to know where they eat when it's raining, because believe it or not, it does rain over on this side of the world. We do have bad weather every now and then. It's not always sunny in Philadelphia, but Rome. Sometimes we do have bad weather, and we have to deal with it like everybody else does, with a nap. And seeing how this family has protected the company so much that nobody really knows who they are unless you're, again, really exclusive and really rich and can afford the most luxurious cashmere in the entire Europe. She wants to warn Marcello against making a deal with JVMA because she knows they're evil, you know, from historical sexual abuse at the company to Nico sabotaging his girlfriend out of spite. She's worried that if he sells to JVMA, they're going to ruin his brand. But Marcello wants to take the brand further. He wants to take it into the future, and they need the investment. Whereas his mom is very hesitant in letting strangers come in and take over because, you know, that company means a lot to them. So in the end, Marcello is a very stubborn man and sends Emily away because who cares that you guys get along so well and you had perfect few days together? She wants to help your family business, therefore she has to go. You know, they're not really making Europeans look smart in this series. They're not. But yeah, Marcello doesn't trust Emily. He doesn't trust that she likes him for who he is. So Emily goes back to Rome and meets Mindy. And they go out for a little walk and reminisce about life and about what's ahead. And then Mindy sees a piano. And in conversation, she hears something Emily says that gives her an idea to finish this song she's been working on for a while. So Mindy sits at this piano and she sings a beautiful song, which I think was actually beautiful. Her voice is beautiful, and a tourist apparently films the performance, posts it on TikTok. It goes viral, and Mindy gets a call from a pop star show that she used to judge or be in, her origin story before Emily in Paris, and invite her to be a judge. And she's like, oh my god, this is even better than Eurovision. Emily, yay, my life is sorted. I have to go back to Paris to pack my bags and then go back to, I think it's China. I can't remember where it was. And Emily gets a call from Marcello. Turns out his mom overheard the conversation and wants to give them a chance. He wants to hear Agence Cateau out. Sylvie takes her little and her little creepy straight employee, and they go to Rome to pitch Agence Cateau to this company. However, there's a caveat. Marcello's company has said no to any and all Italian PR firm that has ever offered to work for them. So why would they go with a French company? They don't even have offices in Rome. And they're like, no, we do. Yes, of course we do. They somehow managed to use one of their clients' offices for the afternoon just to try and fool Marcello and his mom into thinking that they do have an office in Rome just so they can get this client. But Rome is a small place and they all know each other. And his mom is like, I know you don't have an office here. Also, by the sounds of it, they didn't have much of a pitch either, because they're all like, we want to work with you because Italians do it better. We want to work with you because you're cool. They lack a plan, but of course Emily has the perfect pitch, We don't want you to sell your product. We want to sell your way of life, family, friends, community. So we're going to use this picture that I took of the lunch that you invited me to, and we're going to put the name of your company right at the bottom that you have to lean in to see it. And they eat it up. This can't be the best that PR in France has to offer, is it? It's a picture and their logo at the bottom with a few thinly veiled sentiments spoken. But they managed to buy themselves 6 months representing this family. The deal with JVMA is not going to go ahead, with one condition. They have to, of course, have an office in Rome, and we all know where this is going. Yes, yes, yes. Sylvie's gonna open an office in Rome, and she needs someone to run the office. Now, who could possibly be chosen? It's not gonna be her straight coworker, the most senior person she has at the agency, who incidentally speaks fluent French, English, Italian. It's also not gonna be her little employee who also speaks Italian and French and English. No, it's going to be Emilia, who only speaks English because Marcello's mom really liked her. You cannot make this shit up. Emily, oh my god. The universe just blessed her with a pot of gold up her ass that keeps shooting gold coins. And back in Paris, Gabriel finally gets his Michelin star. See, we spent about half of the 4th season trying to get him a Michelin star, only to realize that actually the person who was about to give it to him was not even a Michelin agent inspector. And now all of a sudden, with no warning and no pre-planning and nothing for the effect, he gets a Michelin star. And of course, Genevieve is super happy to give him the good news. Then she gets drunk at a party celebrating it, and Gabriel's like, yo, you gotta stop. Okay, like this is not gonna happen. We are friends. We're gonna be working together. Let's keep it at that. Now, if we can go back to season 1 and say all of this to Emily, that would be great. Just great. And then we don't have to watch these two insufferable people go back and forth on their relationship that is clearly not gonna work. But yeah, Gabriel has a Michelin star, and he stays up all night celebrating with Alfie and this other dude, Antoine or whoever he is. He's constantly there. He's rich. He's the guy that invested in Gabriel's restaurant. And they bump into Mindy. Mindy's like, oh my god, this is so cute. You won a star. Congratulations. And they're like, yeah, we're thinking of expanding to like New York, maybe. And she's like, oh, you should open one in Rome. Then you can be close to Emily. They're like, wait, what? She's like, yeah, Emily's moving to Rome, and I'm going to move there with her after I come back from this judging gig that I just got. Anyway, bye, bonne chance, au revoir. And this is when Gabriel realizes that maybe he just lost the woman of his life. I guess, again, they have zero chemistry. No one would say that these two belong together, but Alfie gives him a little pep talk. He's like, stop thinking, go after her. He's like, oh, but she's with Marcello now. And he's like, no, she's only with Marcello because she's not with you. Come on, Gabriel. You're overthinking. That's what I did. And that's how I lost the love of my life. So you've got to stop this, yeah? You got to go after her. So you stop thinking, yeah? Just go. You can still get her back. So go. Go, Gabriel, go. Hello, I'm from Oxford. I'm from Leicester Square. I'm just a boy from London coming to Paris. So Gabriel is about to call Emily when he receives a voicemail of Emily congratulating him on his star in French. Granted, it's really bad and really broken, really mispronouncing a lot of things, but you know what? A lot of these French actors are mispronouncing a lot of things in English too, and we don't give them shit. So Emily, you go girl! She sent him a message in French. Granted, she went on Google and then just read what was said in the translation box. She didn't actually learn the language, but you know what? She had to repeat the words in French, and we know that's a struggle for her because she's American. So Gabriel goes back to Mindy's house and is like, where exactly in Rome is she? I need to find her. Meanwhile, Emily is in Rome. She has no time to go to Paris. They're going to go to Paris and send her luggage to Rome. She has to stay there, chop chop, work, waits for no one. No one! It's literally a 1-hour flight. Probably less. I'm going to check how long a flight is from Paris to Rome. Okay, it's 2 hours and 10 minutes. Still, it's a pretty quick flight. Very quick. They get Emily house. Emily and Marcello sort of promise not to work together when they eventually make up, which is going to be tough now that she's going to stay in Rome and run the account for his family. But I guess they're going to make it work So, like, they're only together because they agreed not to mix business with pleasure, right? And then immediately after, she accepts a job specifically to work for his family, which is mixing business with pleasure. Get it? Can we smell the conflict that is brewing ahead of season 5? Because I can smell it. It's gonna be a doozy. And Emily's about to post a picture on her Instagram, Emily in Paris, and decides to change it. Deletes Paris and is about to type something when Marcello, the hot Italian hunk, arrives. And the season ends. Oh, and Genevieve is in Paris. She's working for Agence Cateau normally. And yeah, her villain era never quite fleshed out, which I'm grateful for because that was going to be cliche after cliche. And now I guess Emily's in Rome. She's finally left Paris. She's now off to terrorize a whole new people. So Italians, she's your problem now. You know, the moment Emily moves to London, I'm getting out of this country. And the moment they decide to make it Emily in Lisbon, because, you know, Lisbon's becoming a new little hotspot in Europe, when that happens, I'm going to find her. I'm going to drag her out of the country. I'm going to throw her in the ocean. Maybe like, swim back to the United States. I don't care how you get there. Get out now. And that was Emily in Paris season 4. It was better than part 1 for sure. It's getting better somehow. Emily's making better choices. She's not being as annoying as she's always been. I'm confused because everyone else is getting kind of and as time progresses, but Emily's there holding the fort. I'm liking her. And of course, there's going to be a season 5. So when that comes, I don't know, maybe you'll see my face here again, suffering like we did for season 4. It was fun. It's been a pleasure, guys. It's been 10 episodes of a journey, a big journey. And I think that's it for today, guys. If you like this video, like it, subscribe to my channel, and comment down below what your favorite part was about Emily in Paris. My favorite part was when the credits rolled and we knew it was the end of the season. And until next time, stay safe and stay sane. Stay stupid and stay stuttering. I have a stutter, I promise. It's not a lie. Okay, bye.